Asha.
I mean, when you read, you're like going into a whole different world.
For today's video, I am going to be doing the mid-year freakout tag. I know I'm a little bit late for this video, but in case you guys don't know what this tag / trend is, something that's going around on BookTok, BookTube, Bookstagram, everything, and you basically tell about a bunch of your favorite books of the year. So new favorite authors, new favorite books, books you were surprised by, so many different categories. So I'm gonna go through my list and pull out books off of my shelf if they are physical copies of books, so I can show you guys what all of my books have been this year. But before we do it, I wanted to tell you a little bit of my, I guess, reading insights of books that I usually read. In Sarah Caroli's video, that's what she did, and I thought that was a really good idea, so I wanted to tell you guys about like the main genres that I read, that type of thing, and also how many books I've read this year so far before we get right into it. So let's do it. First things first, the amount of books I've read this year so far is 47. My goal is 75. Last year I think my goal was 20 because I was just getting into reading, and I think it was hard for me to meet that goal last year, but yeah, this year it was 75, or it is 75, and I am 6 books ahead of schedule with 47 books so far. So that's on my Goodreads. My Goodreads is Asha Zaf, in case you guys are interested in following that. I downloaded this app, Storygraph, so I could see my reading stats for 2022. This isn't 100% accurate because I noticed that some of the books that I read didn't like upload into this, because you have to like get some form thing from Goodreads and add it onto here so it can see all the books that you read. These are my viewing stats for 2022 so far. I've read, it says I've only read 35 books, which obviously I just told you I've read 47, but this has also not been updated in like over a week or two. The biggest mood that I have read is emotional, and the smallest mood is inspiring. I have a pretty medium pace, it says. Fast 26 and then slow 11%. Page number count usually ranges from 300 to 499. 500 plus being my second biggest, or my second most read, and then under 300 being my third most read, which I don't really read. It says I've only read 100% fiction, which is not true because I've read a couple of nonfiction books this year so far, probably like only 3 or 4. And then for my genres, it says romance on top, then contemporary, then young adult, and then fantasy, and then historical. Those are my biggest categories for the books that I've read with the genres. And also literary fiction's in there now too, because I've read a couple more literary fictions so far. For my most read authors, it says J.K. Rowling, Sarah J. Maas, Colleen Hoover, and Jessica Anya Blau. My average rating is 4.17 stars. So that is my stats on the Storygraph app. You can check those out if you love to read and you want to know your little stats, just in case you guys want to know. It's an app on your phone. Anyways, let's get into my actual, I have like a whole list of all of the things. So the best books so far, and I'm just gonna point because these ones are hard to get out of here, but best book so far is gonna be, first of all, Mary Jane, which I read on my Kindle, so I can't obviously show you that because it's on my Kindle.
I am so confused right now because I literally did not read this book on my Kindle at all. Like, I read the paperback, and I know I read the paperback, and I have the paperback on the bookshelf. For some reason, I said I read it on my Kindle. I didn't. I don't know why. I think it's because I read another book by her on my Kindle this month, but yeah.
A Court of Silver Flames. This one right here, that's gonna be my I couldn't just pick one for my favorite book of the year, but when I heard this question, I immediately knew what books came to mind. So we have A Court of Silver Flames, and then in my Harry Potter set, I have the third book here, which is The Prisoner of Azkaban. That was my other favorite book of the year. So I have 3 favorite books: Mary Jane, A Court of Silver Flames, and The Prisoner of Azkaban, Harry Potter series book 3. New release I haven't read yet, but I want to. I think this is new. I don't know if this just came out this year, but I haven't read it. It's The House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas. This is the second book to the Crescent City series, and I am starting to read the first book this week, which this is the first one. It's House of Earth and Blood. So I'm really excited. If that's a new release, if you would consider it that's the only one I can think of. So I would say that's my new release that I really want to read by the end of the year. Most anticipated releases for this year is going to be The Final Gambit, which is the third book, the Inheritance Games trilogy. Also, It Starts With Us, which is the sequel to It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, which I think everyone is so excited for that one. And then also Spells for Lost Things, which I feel like I don't see a lot of people talking talking about that. The author of the Love and Gelato kind of trilogy is named Jenna Evans Welch, and she has a new book coming out, Spells for Lost Things, which I don't think it comes out till September or October, but I'm really excited. I think it'll be a perfect little fall, cutesy little fall read because it just sounds that spells, like, I don't know, it sounds like that. Biggest disappointment is gonna be something that's gonna disappoint probably a lot of you guys too, and it's gonna be A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime by, I think, Monica Murphy. That book was awful to me, okay? But I can't say that I understand the hype for that one because it grossed me out. There was a lots of like borderline sexual assault, so I don't know. It was not good. I absolutely hated that book if I'm being completely honest. My biggest surprise, which is probably gonna be a surprise for a lot of you too, is going to be the Harry Potter series. I got this for Christmas and I read it within like the first 2 weeks of January, right after I got it after Christmas, and I will tell you that this was the biggest surprise for me because before I read it, I didn't watch any of the Harry Potter movies. My best friend Jenna loves Harry Potter, my brother loves Harry Potter, his girlfriend loves Harry Potter, my sister loves Harry Potter, like everyone in my family pretty much loves Harry Potter, and I was like, I don't get the hype, like I thought it was cringy. I'm like, how can people even like this? Like, why are you so obsessed with these characters? So then I was like, I want to read the series, you know, read the series, and then we'll watch the movies afterwards so I can, you know, really think about everything. And that is why it was my biggest surprise, because I absolutely loved this series and it was a 5-star series for me, 110%. I love it. I didn't love the movies as much as the books. Obviously, anyone who's read Harry Potter can probably agree with that one. But I am really excited to rewatch the movies and probably reread some of the books this coming winter because I just feel like it's such a winter series with the Christmas scenes and everything like that. So yeah, that was definitely my biggest surprise because I did not expect to be obsessed with it. My new fave author is going to be Sarah J. Maas, or I don't know if it said Maas or Moss. I've always said it Maas, but you can tell me if I'm wrong, which is because I read the Court of Thorns and Roses series and I loved it. So now anytime she makes new books, and I'm going to read all of her old books because I know there's a whole other young adult series called Throne of Glass, I think, and I want to get those all, but there's so many, like probably 7 or 8 books. I don't think that they're huge books, but I definitely want to get them all at some point and read them, probably more in like the winter. She is just such an incredible author. Obviously the books are super good and interesting too, but her writing, it's just so incredible. While I was reading it, I just feel like there's things that don't make sense to you in the moment, and then everything connects back to each other in the end. So it's like, even if you don't understand something or you think like, how is this relevant? Literally every word connects back to something in the book and you're like, oh my gosh, like I don't know how she keeps track of that or does that, but she's just such an incredible author, and I feel like you can get so many good messages out of her books as well, other than just like the fun fantasy reading that's like putting you in this different world and everything. It's obviously so fun, but you actually learn a lot from it too. So she's definitely my new favorite author. The next question is favorite book boyfriend slash like fictional crush. So I would have to say, Chase, are you listening to me? You're probably gonna think this is so weird. Okay, so my fictional crush.
What?
My fictional crush would have to be Rysand from the Court of Thorns and Roses series.
Oh, you like big wings?
Wait. If you haven't read the series, skip over this part. So in the first book, I hated him. Second book, I was like, I don't know. And then by the end of that book, I was just like, he is like the kindest person ever in this whole entire series. And I know so many people like Azriel and Cassian from the series too, but I have to say Rhys is my favorite. So that would be my fictional crush book boyfriend. And then my favorite book character is gonna be Mary Jane and the Archeron sisters. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I don't think I can rank them. I love them all, and I'm really excited for Elaine's book to come out eventually because I love her, but I know some people don't feel the same way. Books that made me cry is gonna be Bright Side by Kim Holden, which is right here. And then One True Love by Taylor Jenkins Reid, which I don't have right now with me because I'm loaning it to my sister. This book is another one that really made me cry, and I did not expect for it to make me cry, but this one doesn't actually come out till August 2nd, but when it does come out, you guys have to check it out. It's a coming of age story, so if you like Mary Jane, like I loved Mary Jane, this one definitely hit home for me, and I absolutely loved it, and I did cry a couple of times because I didn't expect it, but it did make me cry. And it's so cute, and there's so many Beatles references and different stuff. So yeah, those are the 3 books that made me cry this year. A must read for me by the end of the year is the Crescent City series, which I kind of already talked about a little bit. And then a book to movie film adaptation that I loved. I didn't really see too many of these this year, but I would have to say Love and Gelato, which I know a lot of people have controversial opinions on this because it's definitely not the same as the book, but I still think it was done so cute in the movie, and even though a lot of things were different, I think that the movie was still really, really good, and I loved it, and I watched it with my Grammy, and she loved it too. I watched it twice, and I thought it was just so cute, great vibes, everything like that. So I personally really liked it, even though it wasn't exactly the same as the book, but the best thing about it was that so many of the characters, how I imagined them in my head, they looked the exact same in the movie, especially Howard. If you read the book, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I really like that one. Some books that made me happy is gonna be Mary Jane, and then this one right here, The Summer of Broken Rules. I love that book. It made me so happy. I think it was like one of the cutest books I've ever read. And then also the one that I just showed you guys, Hello Goodbye. That book made me very happy and sad at the same time. And again, I did not know what to expect. I'm the type of person who likes to go into a book blind. So when I got Hello Goodbye sent to me, I was like, I don't know, am I gonna like this? And I read it, and I literally read it in a day because I loved it so much. So yeah, that's my mid-year freakout tag. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I've read a lot of books this year. I hope you guys have read a lot of good books too. And let me know your favorite book of this year so far in the comments down below, or participate with all of the answers if you want to, whatever you want to do. I hope you guys all have a great day. I love you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, love you.